Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this very early Tuesday morning. It's now the second day of September 2025. Early because, a little before 6, I was awakened by a big, loud rumble of thunder. And as I'm recording this, it's now 6:15. It's dark, but the wind's howling here. I'm seeing flashes of lightning. I'm hoping that sometime as I'm recording this, I may even be able to hear some thunder. I just heard some a little bit ago. So yeah, this monsoon is actually overperforming a little bit from what the models were showing yesterday. Let's get right to the early morning radar. So here's Sacramento. Let's see, let me zoom in on this a little bit more. Just do this. Zoom in on this a little bit more. Okay. So here in Sacramento, you can see these little lightning bolts here. So this, as I'm recording this, just east of Woodland. So we've had some of this go through West Sacramento. Another little cell going through Citrus Heights. Another one now going over Folsom Lake and through Granite Bay through El Dorado Hills. And then more through the foothills. Let me zoom back out because, as you can see, there's a lot to this. We also have a little bit of ground clutter mixed in, as we often do in the early morning hours, but little cells here and there. And as you can see, these lines here are the projected path from the radar. Also, looks like 3 lightning strikes here, just to the west of Loomis. But then, if I go out, look at all of this down to the south. Let me change radars just to see how much of this, I want to go down to the Hanford radar right here, see how much of this is showing up near the radar. So yeah, there's still a lot of this farther down to the south, which means that we are going to continue to see a large area of moisture come our way. Let me go back to the Davis radar, and then I'm going to go to the satellite here, because there is a lot of moisture here. So not enough on this, of course, to be showing it daylight just yet. But yeah, this is the moisture coming up from the south that is feeding these showers and thunderstorms. And as instead of just getting some virga out of this, we are actually getting some real rain, as well as the thunder and lightning. But all very interesting, and you can see the motion here from the south to the north. And perhaps you were awakened early as well, just like I was. I was kind of hoping for this. The models were thinking maybe another hour or so, but there is more to this than the models were showing. And so what's going to happen going forward? Well, let's go to, this is the way the morning HRRR is showing it. And not all that well initiated. So this is the 6 a.m. frame, and as you can see, it doesn't have all of that activity to the south. This is depicted relatively well, but it dissipates it. It dissipates this line. And then in the afternoon, it fires it up again in the Sierra. So because this isn't initialized very well, I don't think the HRRR has its finger on the pulse, because this certainly does not look like this. I mean, this is much more widespread. Again, this is ground clutter up in here that we get during the early morning hours. This, of course, is real activity, and this is real activity as well. Let me zoom back in here. So here's that area that's now going through Escalon and Riverbank. Not seeing any lightning here, but there could be cloud-to-cloud lightning. So when this radar picks up lightning strikes like it does here, oh, this is very active up toward Loomis. Since I showed you that before, this is picking up 2 more strikes. So what the radar is showing here are cloud-to-ground strikes. If there is a cloud-to-cloud flash, this will not get picked up on the radar. As same thing with the thunder. So if you're watching and you're in Tuolumne County and you're saying, oh, I saw lightning, I've been hearing thunder all morning, but it's not showing up here, it's because you weren't getting a cloud to ground strike, or it was missed completely. But there is rain here. There's actual real rain coming. This isn't because my fear this morning was that we would be getting you wouldn't be getting a lot out of this because the air has been so warm and dry. But this, during the early morning hours, you have the better chance of getting some of the rain out of the cloud because you don't have the air is a little bit more moist close to the surface. So this is perfect timing for actually getting some rain. And again, this is all moving from the south to the north. So I don't think the HRRR is completely onto this because there is still a fair amount of moisture. And what's going on here is we have the moisture coming up from the south, and we have this little low coming in this way that is squeezing it. So you can see the moisture here. Oh, just saw a flash of lightning. Waiting for the thunder. And that's kind of a low rumble. Oh, by the way, some of you commented that I have a... Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, that was better. Some of you commented that I've got some white noise. Yeah, it's the fan on my laptop. The fan starts running when I'm running this program because this is taxing my little laptop. I think it's time for a new laptop. So what I was saying was we have this low here. We have the moisture coming up from the south, and that low is also helping to squeeze the moisture out, so it's helping to provide that extra little bit of lift. So that's why I think the HRRR might be wrong. So let's see the way the NAM nest is showing it. This is from the 6Z run. And this is showing it a little bit better and hanging on a little bit longer, as well as bringing the secondary area up. And let's see, what time is this? Move this over just a little bit. This is valid. Hang on one second. Valid this afternoon at 1 o'clock. So yeah, the NAM nest may be doing better. And it also shows all that activity in the afternoon. But this is interesting right here. The NAM nest anyway is showing we could see more in Sacramento, El Dorado, Placer counties, and maybe Amador County this afternoon. But boy, to me the HRRR just does not have a good handle on this. As you can see there, it dissipates it very, 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 very quickly. So a really interesting morning here. Now, if I go back to the big picture here with the 500 millibar chart, after the clouds clear, well, I think we're going to hang on to a fair amount of cloud cover during the day. And yesterday, Sacramento hit 103, and today we're going to be staying more like in the range of the mid-90s. So a warm day, but it really depends on how much sun we see break through. But our string of 100-degree days is done. It'll bump up a little bit on Wednesday after that trough goes by. But then as we get into Friday and the weekend, another trough comes our way. And this is a great pattern. So by the weekend, we'll be talking about daytime highs getting into the 80s once again. Look at that pattern. Let's see, when is this valid? This is valid next Tuesday. So early the weekend and then early next week, we'll be talking daytime highs in the 80s, which is nice. So our string of hundreds is done. Let's go back to the radar here for a second. Zoom back out a little bit. So some of this actually probably is Virga, like I'm recording this is the 6:23 now, over Amador County and parts of Calaveras County, up Highway 49. Looks like we're probably maybe just getting some sprinkles there, but let's see, let me zoom in a little bit more here. That is not a cell. That's ground clutter, I think. Not seeing lightning strikes here, seeing lightning strikes still around Loomis. This cell north of Sacramento, let's see, northeast of Roseville, west of Lincoln, northwest of Roseville, west of Lincoln. That's real, but again, a lot of what you see here is the morning ground clutter we have. So that cell is now past the Sacramento area and moving to the north. Let me zoom back out. Oop, out I said. And then let's animate this. You're moving pretty quickly. As a matter of fact, let me stop this. And we can see what the radar thinks about some of these. So for instance, let's click right here. Cell K3 at 6:15 a.m. Oh wait, let's take a look at the velocity. Because it was kind of windy when I stepped outside here a little bit ago. Let's go for the velocity. So there's no rotation here, but you notice here there's a good outflow right in here. Let me query that. So in this area right here, it's picking up winds of 40 miles an hour. Now keep in mind that that's above the surface a little bit, but there's a nice little outflow boundary coming out of this as the cells come up from the south. Yeah, look at that develop right there. Right here. Yeah. So yeah, when I stepped outside a little bit ago, it was kind of gusty here at the home weather office. Let's get off of this. Zoom in on another one or two of these cells. So for instance, this one. So this one is tracking northwest at 37 knots. Yeah, these are moving along pretty quickly. This one moving at also 37 knots. So yeah, they're tracking these things pretty quickly. This one right here. This is interesting. That wind heading up toward the Wheatland area. And then this one, I think that's also 27 knots. So yeah, really interesting morning. And again, this is the velocity mode. Let me switch back to the reflectivity. So my concern here is all of this activity down south that the models are not picking up on. These boxes right here, these are special weather statements that were put out by the Merced Weather Office, the Hanford Weather Office, I should say. So let's click and see what they have to say about this. Special weather statement for all those counties. A line of thunderstorms with frequent lightning will impact all of those areas there. Tracking line of thunderstorms. Oh, you can't read that. Sorry about that. Let me move that back over here so you can read it along with me. There you go. Line extending 9 miles west. Hazard wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour and pea-sized hail. Frequent cloud-to-ground ground lightning and little rainfall. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs below unsecured below. Man, I can't read it so early in the morning. Minor hail damage to vegetation is possible. All right, let's see if the radar is picking up any hail. So for that, we have another product over here. Hydrometeor classification. Not picking up any in the Sacramento area. This is well away from the radar, but those could be hail signatures there. For that, let's switch back over to the Hanford radar to see what it looks like from that radar. And they're here too, also not picking up anything in the way of hail. For hail, you'd want it to get into the red. I don't see any red here. I'll go back to the Davis radar. So not seeing any hail, at least not from the radar signature. But certainly seeing lightning, and a fun way to start the morning, especially for a meteorologist. So you're just going to hope that we don't get any any new fires started by the lightning. Had a fire pretty close to the home weather office yesterday. Cal Fire jumped all over it, put on a pretty good air show. Hang on a second. All right. So, yeah. So if you've been awakened by the rain this morning, I'm a little disappointed that the morning models, even the high resolution morning models, are not picking up on the extent of this. So I would think that over the next few hours, especially through Stanislaus County, Tuolumne County, Calaveras County, these areas, we'll see more. This area is moving quickly to the north, and again, these are moving around 30, 40 knots. So yeah, they're not sticking around very long. As a matter of fact, now I look out the window and it's starting to get a little bit lighter, and I can see the break here. So this is the one that went past the home weather office. But we'll have to see how long this stays intact. If this makes it all the way back up into San Joaquin County, El Dorado, Placer County, and Nevada County. We'll have to see just how all of that plays out. But the bottom line this morning is that interesting mood lighting this morning. Let's see, turn that. That'll help. So much cooler today. We won't be seeing daytime highs in the hundreds. We'll see how long the cloud cover sticks around to maybe keep temperatures in the low 90s. If we get more sun, it'll be more like mid 90s. And we'll stay in that range of mid, maybe upper 90s again tomorrow. But then from Thursday and especially through the weekend, temperatures come back down. And we don't see anything more in the way of these thunderstorms. We will see more thunderstorms this afternoon in the Sierra. And again, the NAM at least was pointing to the possibility of maybe getting another wave around midday, early afternoon into Placer, El Dorado County, Amador County, and maybe even Sacramento County. So I have to keep an eye on that. So here's your early morning weather briefing, including rumbles of thunder. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.